Everyone, this is Brant Rudiman.
I'm Evan LaVirtue.
I'm Cody Cole.
I'm Kyle Logberg, and
we're
the
developers of
WineChain.
All right, everyone. So the motivation for our work. Wine and auction processes are becoming an extremely expensive industry. So, for example, vintage bottles and collections of French vineyards like Romani Conti can cost in the tens of thousands. For example, a Domani Romani Conti 1990 vintage sold at auction for almost $30,000 for a single bottle. As a result, this has attracted a lot of counterfeiters into the industry. These people will basically create fake bottles that look like these basically signature and special vintages and try and sell them at these auctions. And a lot of people don't know any better and they buy these $30,000 bottles of wine. For example, Rudy Giuliani famously sold over $35 million of counterfeit wine in an auction. Later on, he was discovered and sentenced to 10 years in prison, but it took them a while to figure out what was going on. In addition, there's a lot of value for collectors in knowing the origination of a wine bottle and whose hands it's been in. And so as a result, we wanted to come up with a system where we could track wines and who's owned them and basically certify that they're authentic.
So the basics of WineChain. We decided to implement our project with the either C721 tokens to represent each individual bottle of wine. Each token contains data about its corresponding wine, such as the originator, the producer, or they're also known as the vineyard, the varietal, or the type of wine, the vintage, the year that it was made, and the certification status of the maker. Each token can be exchanged whenever a bottle of wine is either sold or traded between businesses, between business to consumer, or even consumer to consumer. An analogy to help understand what each token represents is to consider a deed of ownership. And we can use this token to trace each bottle of wine all the way back to its origins to verify its authenticity. If you consider a $20,000 bottle of wine, would you buy that bottle if it wasn't added onto the chain by its verified vineyard, or even if it was owned by several parties before you after it was originally produced? In order to make our system work, we would need to uniquely mark bottles with some sort of digital label. So to do this, we could consider adding a microchip to the wine cork, a QR code to the bottle, or even an NFC tamper evidence seal to prevent reuse after the bottle has been consumed.
A quick summary of the work we did. We first started by creating a smart contract using Solidity. This contract is an implementation of WineCoin ERC 721 token. The contract uses a certification system that advertises whether or not a wine originator is a verified party. Verified parties are trusted originators from big-time creators. Using this verification system, you can easily tell if an individual is trying to pose as a trusted originator, because the only entity that can verify an originator is the owner of the contract, in this case being the WineChain company. We then implemented a Web3 React application to interface with our contract. The application allows users to see listing of wine bottles, whether or not a producer is verified, a listing of their owned wine, and allows the ability to transfer and trade wine tokens amongst others.
We were able to implement a pretty cool website to hold our Ethereum-based contract, but we have a few things that we still want to do in the future. Primarily, one of the first things you'll notice when you go on the site is it's very, very slow. Adding some client-based caching for previous transactions would hopefully speed that up. As well, we want to actually implement the QR barcode reading system. It's not fully in there right now, but that would definitely make it more approachable for a standard user. Also, we want to make it so it's available for collectors to add their own bottles without having a verified seller or producer of the wine itself. This can maybe be done through a professional auditing system. And lastly, we really need to make a system to incentivize users to burn their tokens when they drink the wine. We made this for the exact reason of stopping the counterfeit production of people reusing these bottles and selling them at high market value So it'd be really good to implement a system for, incentivizing the burning, but we don't really know how to do that yet.
All right, everyone, thank you very much for watching our presentation, and I hope that you have lots of questions for us, and please feel free to contact us on your own time. And other than that, we really appreciate your attention.